But let's move on to something way, way, way more positive. In the past, we've kind of had after shows where we discussed shows that we really like.
Yeah.
For example, we talked about our love for so long of The Genius.
The Genius.
And maybe you're a new listener, because we got a lot of new listeners since our last Genius talk.
Yeah.
The show is still my favorite Korean show of all time.
I think I can safely say it is mine as well.
Yeah, and it is not a variety show.
Nah.
It is not a drama.
Not really a game show either.
Yeah, it's like...
Kind of like Survivory-ish.
It's like a survival game based on mental acuity.
Yeah, survival game based off of mental. That is exactly how I would describe it.
It's like Survivor, kind of where like they have challenges every episode, but all the challenges,
physical challenges, it's always mental.
Yeah, it's always mental.
Yeah,
it's usually like, but it like tests you on working with other people or tricking other people or trying to figure out this grand puzzle, or playing a game, but the game is not. It's not like Running Man games where there's no real strategy. It's just rando. This is like if you come up with a good strategy, you can do it. Anyways, The Genius, you should watch it. There's like 5 seasons. It's the best show.
It is
ever.
amazing. It is amazing. But we got a lot of people. A lot of our chingus came onto The Genius because of us, and that's great.
Yes. But recently, there has been another totally different show, but this one is pure variety show.
Pure variety.
But it's on a cable network. Not too many people know about it.
GTBC, I think, is the cable network.
Yes. And it's called Knowing Bros or Knowing Brothers.
Yeah, it has a few different names. So Knowing Brothers is one. Ask Us Anything is the other. The Korean version of it is called 아는 형님, which means like the older brothers who know a lot of things. Yeah.
I mean, the Knowing Brothers, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
I don't know where the Ask Us Anything came from.
Yeah, that's definitely not.
Like, I think that's like a segment in the show, right?
Yeah.
But for some reason, they decided that as
they're kind of maybe it's a catch line. We don't know.
But anyway, so Knowing Brothers is one of those variety shows where they have like a fixed cast, right?
Yeah.
They have how many? 8?
It's all guys. Let me think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7. I think they used to have 8, but now they have 7.
Okay. And of the ones you probably don't know most of them.
Yeah.
But the main ones, maybe you know, Kang Ho-dong.
He's in 2 nights, or no.
He used to be in
one night, 2 days. Yeah.
He used to be really big, and then he took some steps back because he had scandals.
Yeah.
You might know Hee-chul from Super Junior.
Yeah, Kim Hee-chul.
Who is in a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
And that's probably all you'll know.
Yeah.
The rest of them are like either comedians or like
old artists.
Old artists. One of them is Sungmin from The Genius or from a billion other shows that he, because of The Genius, he got into a lot of other things.
Yeah.
One is like a singer, right? Like what's the
from
group?
Buzz.
From Buzz.
Yeah.
But anyway, so it's a bunch of dudes, and every episode, some people come visit their classroom.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's one person, sometimes 2 people,
sometimes a group,
and they just talk. It's a lot of talking.
Yeah.
And they break every once in a while to do like a quick activity or something.
Yeah.
And they have different segments that don't repeat.
Yeah.
Too often, which is good. Sometimes they have like a drama class.
That's my favorite.
Where they just do like
skits and improv comedy and stuff like that.
Yeah. Sometimes they just have like set things like this is drawing class or this is poem writing class or this is whatever activity they want to bullshit up class. And it's just...
Well, for me, I really like it because it's very lighthearted. So you don't know a lot of the cast, and the reason behind that is because most of these cast members have had some sort of like scandal in the past that have kind of shut them out of, show business for a while, Korean show business. Like Kang Ho-dong, he had a huge kind of...
He had like tax something?
Yeah, tax. I think it might have been tax, like money embezzlement or tax evasion something. Lee Seung-gun, one of the guys, he's was caught for gambling, and obviously Sangmin, he went bankrupt and all of that. And Kim Hee-chul is famous for being like, really weirdo. And all these guys are like, some people are divorced. And so all of them are really, really strange.
Yeah. They're not who you would see, you know, like in Running Man, they're all kind of like model citizens, right?
Yeah. They want you to think that each member is a model citizen, but just a little bit quirky.
Yeah.
But all these guys are kind of like, we have like life experience and we got caught for some things and they joke about it all the time.
Yeah, for me, that's the best part. The best part is that A, it's a cable show, and B, because it's a cable show, they really seem like just bros fucking with each other.
Yeah, they love ripping into each other about like everything.
Like they make fun of each other all the time for divorcing, or they make fun of each other all the time for being broke as shit, or making fun of each other because they're ugly or fat
or just like boring
or not funny at all, right?
Yeah.
Like it really seems like they're just like real friends, just kind of fucking with each other.
Yeah, but the beauty of it is like I think each member brings something to the table. Like, there's not really kind of overlapping roles. It's kind of like if you had a group of friends who each member had like something interesting about them, or kind of like a dark past that everybody knows, you know?
Yeah. Now, the problem I think with this show is twofold. One is that it's very Korean. It's not like Running Man, where Running Man's very... You don't need to know that much Korean to understand a lot of the jokes and why Running Man is funny.
Yeah. Like, there's a lot of, like, kind of culture references that you might not get. Pop culture references and such. Yeah,
there's a lot of pop culture. There's a lot of these members' history references that you're not going to get the first time you watch it or the second time you watch it.
They reference a lot of people.
They reference a lot of people. They reference a lot of songs, old-ass songs. And they also do a lot of puns, which you just don't understand because...
Korean
puns. So I will say, like, the first 1 or 2 episodes that I watched, like, I thought it was okay, but I didn't think it was that funny because I didn't understand half of it. Because they're all laughing and you're just like...
I don't get what's so funny.
But once you know more about these people and you start picking up on the reoccurring jokes, it is... Like, Running Man... I used to love Running Man so much, but one of the reasons I decided to come to Korea was because I had watched Running Man so much, and I was just like, I love Korea. Korea's great. But I haven't watched Running Man really for the last 2 years because it's been so fucking boring.
Same with Infinity Challenge. Like both of those shows, I think originally were really fresh because they didn't really have variety kind of shows like that.
Right.
But then like after a while, it became really surface. Like you can only play games and do the same gags for so long,
Yeah. And this might get boring too, but right now it's just so they talk to each other so differently than both Running Man and Infinity Challenge.
Yeah. Like they all use like informal speak on the show. Like they disregard age and everybody's just
And part
like
of the funness is when the guests come and they can't. It's very hard for them
to like adjust.
Yeah. But even that's a very... Most non-Korean speaking people don't care about that. Like I don't really care about that because I won't notice. I don't even notice if they're using improper or proper unless they mention in the show, right? But like the best episodes, same as in Running Man, the best episodes are when they have a big group of girls. When they have hot ass girls come, and it's a classroom of a bunch of dudes.
Yeah,
that is the most fun because Running Man used to be really blatant about their bias towards women. And those are always my favorite episodes is when they go wild for the girls.
Yeah.
And if there's ever a guy come, they just like, fuck this dude, I don't care about him.
Because it's funny to see like guys acting stupid over girls that they have no chance with, obviously.
Yeah.
But
so they have like really good episodes with Twice, with Red Velvet, with
Chun Hyo-sung from Secret and Kyung-ri from Nine Muses. That was a really funny episode as well.
Sometimes they have actresses on. Sometimes they have... There was that one like 14-year-old girl that was like the best. I love that episode.
She was so sassy.
She's so good. But yeah, so if you're looking for a new variety show, you should you shouldn't start with episode 1 because I think the show got better as time goes on, and I think they, much like Running Man, like the first 3 or 4 episodes of Running Man, they had this concept and then they totally changed it.
Yeah,
I'm not sure when they changed it in this. But I think I started with maybe the 20s, around the 20s I started with.
I think 20 is where I started.
No, I started with the IOI one because, love me some IOI. The IOI episode is also one of my favorite ones of all time.
So hilarious.
Because they kind of do, they pretty much change the entire show just for the IOI girls.
Yeah.
And all the men, sounds dumb, but they all dress up as women.
They're all just like IOI members.
Yeah. And they have like an entire like fake, like Produce 101 like segment. And they even like talk to the camera like shitty like IOI. It's pretty funny.
It's really funny, I think.
If you like Korean variety shows and you haven't checked this one out, I'm telling you, give it a chance. Watch the Twice ones, watch the big girl group ones if you're into that, and laugh.
Yeah.
Laugh.
And the funny thing is, it's like, as we tell you this, this show is becoming like more and more popular in Korea.
Yep.
Like it's gaining a lot of steam.
Yes. And Wild Running Man has gone in the shitter in the last year and a half. But yeah, so that's Knowing Brothers or Ask Us Anything.
아는 형님.
I think there are, like I watch it on kshowonline.com, but if you just type that in, there are many sites. I think there are some sites that like official sites that sub it.
Yeah.
I forgot what it was called, but I watched it there once because K-Show Online was.
Yeah, I'm sure if you Twitter it, you probably find it.
Twitter it.
Yeah, because Twitter is like a huge place for K-pop fans to gather.
Twitter? What does that even mean?
Well, just like look up. So the way it works is you look up whatever group that you're
on Twitter. Well, you just fucking Google that shit. What do you look at?
Sometimes
who searches shit on Twitter?
Sometimes, like through Twitter, you'll find like links for certain websites that Google is just not good at. Like really remote websites that just not a lot of traffic goes through there, you know?
No, it's not
fine.
No, who in the world is like, yo, go Twitter that? Nobody.
Just saying.
I know you're just saying. I'm calling you out because I know you just said it, and then you're trying to backpedal it to try to make it make sense.
Well, it does make sense. I found when I was really following SNSD, there was a lot of things that I could find through Twitter that.
Right, but if you're like, hey, I want to know more about something, I would.
You're right.
I'm never like, hey, go Twitter it.
Fair enough.
Unless you're like, hey, go follow a bunch of like.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, go follow a bunch. If you're gonna start from a girl group episode, I'm gonna stop talking. There's no
Twitter it.
I'm gonna stop talking.
Fucking with you, Josh.